esters are commonly the reaction product of a carboxylic acid and something with an OH group. In surfactants, the fatty acid forms a useful hydrophobic tail, and of course they can be further derivatized. In surfactants, esters show up in the following, and I shall read them. Sucrose esters or sugar esters, carbohydrate esters, methyl ester sulfonates, Sorbitan esters and their ethoxylates. Lactone functionality in sophorolipids is an ester. Glycerol esters, phosphate esters, and ester quats. So let's take a look at each of these product areas in a little bit more detail. Sucrose esters or sugar esters look like this. And these non-ionic emulsifiers are used mainly in food, cosmetics, and pharmaceuticals. Among the many makers are Cisterna, Croda, BASF, and Evonik. Carbohydrate esters are the reaction products of fatty acids and various carbohydrates. They're seeing now emerging use as non-ionic surfactants. Here is a typical structure. And this is a maltodextrin ester, where R could be C18 or 16, could be saturated or unsaturated. Companies active in this relatively new field include Integrity Biochem of the US and Norfolk of Denmark. Methyl ester sulfonates have been around for a while. They're sulfonation products of typically palm oil-based methyl esters, so sulfonated biodiesel, if you like. This is what they look like, and among the many companies involved in making these products are KLK, Wilmar, and Lion. Typically, they're used in household cleaning applications as a supplement to or replacement for LAS. Sorbitan esters and their ethoxylates are like the grand dams, if you like, of the renewable surfactant world, known by their original trade name spans and tweens. That's like the Xeroxes of surfactants, right? And so Sorbitan is a dehydration product of sorbitol, which is a sugar alcohol, a polyol. So this is what sorbitol looks like. And the Sorbitan esters and their ethoxylates look as follows. Here's the spans and the tweens. And they're typically used in cosmetics and food. Many other applications. Manufacturers include Croda, BASF, KLK Kolb, that's the European arm, and a number of other companies. So as I mentioned up front, the lactonic form, right, the ring form of a sophorolipid, that's the one on the left in the diagram here, is a ester. And we've talked a lot about biosurfactants, and we'll do a lot more in this video series, so I won't go into any more detail here, except to say that if you would like to learn more about biosurfactants, you can consider our report jointly produced with Green D Market Analytics. Details below the video. Glycerol esters are just what they sound like, fatty acid esters of glycerol, which is a triol or polyglycerol. Among the fairly wide range of surfactants here are things like glycerol monooleate and glycerol monolaurate, polyglycerol 10 laurate, polyglycerol 6 caprolate, PEG 7 glycerol cocoate, that's an ethoxylated one, and many others. They're used often, again, in food and cosmetics. Manufacturers include Evonik, Croda, ScienceCo, and many, many others. Phosphate esters are anionic surfactants, typically used in a range of industrial applications like paints and coatings, metalworking, agrochemicals. Manufacturers include ScienceCo, Dow, Stepan, and a number of others. They're made by phosphorylating alcohols or alcohol ethoxylates. And here's a couple of structures courtesy of Lamberti of Italy. Finally, ester quats used in primarily fabric softening and hair conditioning. Manufacturers include Stepan, Nourion, Evonik, and a number of others. Reaction includes reacting triethanolamine with fatty acids and then an alkylation to make the quat. Here's a typical structure. And so that ends our very quick tour of ester-based surfactants. I hope you have found this useful. And as always, thanks again for listening.